Hello, one. Hello, all. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and here we are. We're here to talk about God of War Ragnarok, TGS 2022. There's a Crash Bandicoot thing that, of course, happened about an hour or so ago, and anything else, I guess, that basically comes up as that's happened this past week. It was quite the week, specifically in the beginning with the Nintendo Direct, with, I guess, again, with the State of Play, which was phenomenal. And then it kind of slowed down, and TGS, I know some people say they really liked it. I mean, I didn't mind it, but I wouldn't call it good, at least for the kind of games and kind of like things that I'm interested in. But for like Street Fighter and stuff like that, it was, I guess, solid. For like Resident Evil 4, it was pretty cool in terms of getting it for PS4. But there wasn't all that much going on when it came to TGS for kind of the big guns that we talk about with Hogwarts and Gotham Knights and just TGS and, well, even Microsoft. Microsoft did a lot with Game Pass, but obviously they didn't do much besides that, which is fine. And by the way, if you haven't played Ni no Kuni yet and you do have Game Pass, well, now is the time to jump into that because that franchise is incredible, specifically the second game, which doesn't come out on Game Pass, I guess, until next year. So we're here talking about all the stuff. Yeah. We're here to talk about all the stuff that's happened basically over this past week. There was kind of like a preview of what to talk about. Obviously, God of War is a big one I want to talk a little bit about as well, just because that trailer was probably the best. You know, I say this from someone who loves God of War quite a bit, but it's not my favorite franchise. It's probably one of my favorite franchises, but it's not my favorite. I don't really think I've definitely not seen a better trailer for God of War. I don't know if I've ever seen a trailer that good. I'm trying to like compare it. The Uncharted trailers, of course, super stand out. Dead Island, Assassin's Creed, the old-time Assassin's Creed games have had some incredible trailers. But that God of War trailer was about as good as you could ask from anything in terms of setting up, the hype and what's going on, obviously, in the game. Visuals, they show a little bit of gameplay, a little bit of story. It's got that energy to it. It's got that suspense and tension with Odin and Thor and all that. And it's just perfect from start. It's got beautiful moments with the jellyfish and the wolf changing the day into night. Like it's insane how good that trailer was. So welcome everybody. As always, if there's any questions or topics you guys want me to specifically talk about, we can do that as the video goes on or as live stream goes on. I know we normally talk about Gotham Knights a lot, Hogwarts Legacy a lot, and that, both those games actually had a very, very quiet week. Gotham Knights, I think, got the Harley Quinn thing, the Harley Quinn talk with IGN, which was part of their first thing, but it was held back, it seems. That was definitely the same format as IGN first with the Harley Quinn discussion about using an older Harley, and then they put it as a video this past week, which was very, very weird, but Hogwarts Legacy, obviously, Hogwarts had a pretty good week with the State of Play, right? I guess since then it's been a little quiet. Gotham Knights had a very quiet week, but Hogwarts with, of course, the new trailer, or the quest for PlayStation, looked awesome. Definitely upset a lot of people. And I don't know if I'll talk about it in a video in the future, but it's actually like you're starting to see that there are some cracks to this game. Maybe not to everybody, but this is in that video, or in the PlayStation blog even video that I did talking about Hogwarts, was probably the most hate I've ever seen against Hogwarts Legacy. Talking about, how stupid it was or scummy it was to do an exclusive thing for PlayStation. I mean, I'm not a fan of giving exclusive missions. It's very 2009, era, but it is what it is. And again, I don't really know if blame should be equal or who you blame in general, because I'm sure Sony offered them the money, but then they took the money and then they're doing it. So is it 50-50 the blame? What's the blame? But what's going on? Hello. Hit the like button. Yes, hitting the like button always helps, both now and, of course, after. Why would Gotham Knights and Hogwarts show up at TGS? Well, they did show up at TGS. They showed up, and they showed up to my credit. I've gotten a couple things wrong with Hogwarts over the last little while, but I like to pat myself on the back when I get things right. It was exactly what I said. The Hogwarts Legacy part of TGS was the State of Play, and the Gotham Knights part of TGS was the very first trailer from DC Fandom 2020. is the 2 clips they used for both of them. So they did show up, but they were literally just reused video and not even it was commentary over it, basically. And that was it. Gotham Knights TGS. Gotham Knights was there. It was what I thought. It was what I thought was going to happen there. Hello, how's everybody doing on this Friday? Like I said, it was a weird week. It started very quick with PlayStation and then Nintendo, well, both the announcements and then them actually happening on Tuesday. So Monday, Tuesday was awesome. Wednesday just slowed to a crawl. And then, Wednesday night and Thursday night were the 2 TGS things, which, again, turned out to be very little in my world of gaming that really happened at TGS. Force Unleashed 2 had some awesome trailers. Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, like, if I thought, I just have to think of, like, all the games I really like, right? You could probably say a lot of the games that I like would translate to I appreciated the trailers. I'm sure there's been some incredible trailers, but I just think in terms of, like, even if you're not a fan of God of War, setting up the trailer, how the trailer was actually set up, was pretty perfect. Was about as perfect as you could want it to be. Is it true what we saw in Ragnarok trailer was only the first 5 hours? Oh, is that what they said? I didn't see that. I saw that they said basically what they showed in that Ragnarok trailer is just scratching the surface, which I would not be surprised about. And yeah, I'd say probably I think the general theory is you're going to fight Thor at least more than once, whether it's 2 or 3 times. What we saw could have been the first time, I think, at the end. Odin coming to the door. That's probably very, very early in the game as well. So, yeah, I mean, and I feel like it probably was the first half of the game. I don't know if like 5 hours. No World Serpent in the trailer. That trailer made me and others feel things. Yeah, this game is going to be something. I really, and also there was that, right? The kind of, not just was the trailer so good, but the fan, like where we were all at in anticipation for the game, but also kind of like, all right, what are they? I mean, we were all, or at least me, I was like, all right, well, this is kind of stupid what they're doing with Game Informer and stuff like that. Like, this is dumb. And so we were all kind of like, well, we know the game's going to be good, and we're just kind of waiting for it. And it's just very weird how Sony's doing it. And then they hit us with that trailer. I think it meant more to us than just the trailer being good, because then it also signified, yeah, like, it's okay to worry or it's okay to question things, but it's like, they got this. At least right now, they got this. You don't have to really be all that concerned about what they've shown. That trailer could have taken them like 2 weeks to put together alone, right? The trailer just was really good in making us feel confident that. But again, as I've said before, I never have 100% confidence really for any game, even games that I'm including Hogwarts and God of War, that I'm incredibly excited for. There's still a part of me that is never like 100%. It's like 98%. These games can let you down, or games can make stupid mistakes. And it's just important to remember that. When are you going bald? Well, I want to try to make it till 30 with my hair, but I don't know if I'll be able to do it, to be honest with you. Did you see the gameplay at TGS for Forspoken? Yeah. And I also saw the previews for it. The previews, to be honest, it's not always great when, like, okay, a lot of the people that get, and I mean, this could be very hypocritical of me to say in like 2-3 years, like I could look back and say that was a bad take or whatever, but people that get to see things early, or people that have these impressions, oftentimes you got to question at least a little bit of their, when they say things, right? Because they get that special treatment, unless they are so big that it doesn't matter if they say bad things. Do you know what I mean? So like when Saints Row got previews and people played Saints Row, people that were saying negative things, it was like, wow, I really don't think people would say negative things for other games. Or if you were smaller and you previewed Saints Row, you maybe wouldn't say anything, because there's just that sense of you that maybe gives it the benefit of the doubt, or you wonder if you'll ever get invited back. So basically what I'm getting at is Forspoken was received like okay. Like when people got to play it this past week, they said there were some really good elements, like the actual, I believe, like the visuals and the combat in terms of the elemental stuff, but then other stuff was kind of weak. So when you hear that with previews, it doesn't always you do start to get worried about the end product, and Saints Row is a good example. Saints Row, the previews sounded like people were being very generous and being like, well, I want to say this was awful, but I'm not going to say it was awful because it's just a preview event, and then the game turned out to be what it was. So I still have hope in Forspoken. I'm getting it day one no matter what, unless like the reviews come out a week before and it gets like 3s out of 10. Then I would start to question it. But if it doesn't do that, if even it gets like a 5, 6, 7, somewhere in that range, I'm still getting Forspoken. But it is interesting when previews for games aren't all that good, because most times these people that get these preview events are very nice, right? You saw the Skull and Bones thing in that Ubisoft Forward, everybody just talking about how amazing it is, and they listen to feedback. Ubisoft is the most two-way kind of company in the world. They listen to you, and they want that feedback. I mean, come on, are we serious? So I had a good laugh and anger from that Skull and Bones thing. Star Wars was great before Disney ruined it. I largely agree, mainly with the movies. I hope Hogwarts Legacy allows you to use wandless magic. Ooh, I've seen that be talked about. Maybe I can make a video on that. I have a very strong feeling you will not use wandless magic in Hogwarts, but would be cool. Where? It was at the Sega Atlas event. Both of them. It was after Sonic. They showed Sonic. I think they maybe showed one or two other things. Then they showed Hogwarts and Gotham Knights. Thank God I need... Well, I appreciate it, Zach. Well, Daniel, I mean, that was just... It was what it was. I mean, we kind of expected that. It's a lot of people that were watching TGS or were watching those two talk and narrate. I mean, they're people that maybe don't keep up all that much. And so it was very generalized, the Hogwarts and Gotham Knights stuff. I'm not upset. I've honestly seen enough of Gotham Knights. Like, if Gotham Knights released tomorrow, I'd be fine with it. And well, arguably it releases in 1 month, so I'm okay with what they showed. I really don't think they're gonna show almost anything else. They'll be present on Twitter and stuff, but I think Gotham Knights is pretty much done. And God of War will probably be done in another month. Hogwarts will be done probably early, mid-January. Like, it's just how it is. Sir Axis, what's up? I've come to conclude we are never getting a Metal Gear, Castlevania, and Silent Hill game again. Yeah. I mean, it hurt. That hurt not seeing any of them there. I would take a Castlevania, too. But Castlevania also. I think it's time to start comparing that trailer to movie trailer. Yeah, probably. Probably. Hello, how do you say your name? Gamered Star World? It's hard reading names. Did you get your platinum in Returnal? Oh, man, no, I mean, Returnal is a game, and I oftentimes forget about it. In the last couple years, I know Returnal obviously just came out, but in the last couple years, I've been going back to play old games. Like, I'm playing Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I just played God of War 3. All these games, I forget that I have Returnal. And I love Housemarque. I feel like I loved Housemarque before it was cool. I guess with Resogun, and maybe that is when it was kind of cool, but I also liked their older games. I liked Dead Nation. Actually, no, I liked it before Resogun. What am I saying? I liked Dead Nation, so I was in back then. So I do feel sad that I haven't really appreciated. I think Returnal is from a game play perspective, that game is so good. It's so good. I'd have to restart it, though, because I haven't played it since, last summer. So it's been a long time. But that game, did it live up to your expectations? It would have. Yeah, it did. But I have not platinumed it. I also didn't beat it. I don't expect Gotham Knights that much. Yeah, I didn't expect anything from either of them. Do you think we'll see the first trailer of Kojima Productions' new game in TGS? Well, TGS ends, it's tomorrow and Sunday, but it's not a lot tomorrow and Sunday. So I feel like it's kind of there is no Kojima. I think Kojima could have trolled us with that, to be honest with you. But yeah, it's a shame it wasn't a new trailer, but we got the Haunted Shop trailer this week. Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was a very well put together trailer, the Hogwarts one. I thought it was kind of spooky, definitely weird. It was maybe the most in-gamey kind of thing, you know what I mean? Because we've seen the cutscene of the hunters with the hippogriff, and then they pull it inside and stuff. But this was very much like visually showing us what we would do in a quest for Hogwarts, while also hearing the narration, which you got to imagine is like the start of the mission. Like when you go to talk to her and she's telling you about the thing, that's what she's saying. So it felt the most, even though the Sebastian one was also his storyline, this one felt the most like a actual mission, and it should, because it was literally a quest trailer. It was a trailer for a quest that's exclusive to PlayStation. So it should have felt like that, and it did. And I liked that it felt different than really anything that we've seen before. Sebastian was probably the closest one. These Silent Hill leaks is a yearly thing. Yeah, I mean, the Silent Hill leaks are definitely getting to the point where, and I think they have for a while, where it's like, it needs to happen, or I don't trust you, or like, I don't trust any of this until it happens, which is fair. I just think there's been way too much to doubt that Silent Hill's coming back. I think it's happening. Bloober Team has had a real tough time like denying they're making a Silent Hill game. The episodic one definitely is more like people are just saying it, so they could easily just be saying it. And then Silent Hill 5, I mean, you have the pictures, the literal pictures in game and of like the main menu. So it's like that's definitely happening. It just hasn't happened yet. Hey man, off topic. You seem like a great dad. My wife is pregnant. I'm so hyped for any good dad. Oh my god. Well, I don't know if I'm the person to go to. I mean, probably just have fun with it. Don't lose all your hair. I'd imagine supporting each other is important. And yeah, I'd say it gets easier, and then it gets more annoying, and then but it also has its good throughout the whole thing. Dr. Disrespect said he's betting Hogwarts Legacy will end up being good. Yeah, it's cool to see. I didn't know he said that. I like Dr. Disrespect. It's nice to see, like, at one hand, when you have these 1 million+ subscriber channels that talk about Hogwarts once every like year, it's annoying in a sense where they kind of just like swoop in and get all like the eyes on their videos and stuff. It's the way it is though, right? But on the other hand, it's also simultaneously a good thing, because you have these people that are huge on YouTube or Twitch or whatever. They're huge, and they talk about whatever. Maybe they're into their own circle, but they also like just name drop Hogwarts, that it's like cool. And that's definitely a positive for the game. You know what I mean? If a game flies completely under their radar, I mean, that's fine. I don't think it needs these people to succeed. But it can only help, because you may have people that are only into like Call of Duty, right, with Doc or Apex Legends or whatever, and just the fact that he throws that out there, that may help. Because I think everybody knows what Harry Potter is. You know what I mean? Everybody knows what the Wizarding World is, and I think that's why Hogwarts is going to do incredible. She-Hulk? Yeah, I still haven't watched She-Hulk, to be honest. Have you played the beta for Modern Warfare 2 yet? I have not. Don't you have to pre-order it? Don't you have to pre-order it to play the beta for it? I haven't done it. I've been making my way ththrough Skull and Bones. Oh God, I don't have Skull and Bones for the record. I've been making my way through Black Flag the last couple days, and I've made, I think, pretty good progress. My plan is to do Black Flag, and then I got to do God of War 2018. So that's my next two, and of course I make like retrospectives on them. But those are my next two games, or one of them I'm already doing. But I'm having a lot. Black Flag grows on you, I've realized. And watching the trailer, because I don't watch trailers all that often, by the way. I saw the trailer for Ragnarok when it happened. I watched it one more time, and then I watched it today. So I've only seen it 3 times. And watching it, I was like, I know I'm going to, like, next up on my docket of games is God of War, so I kind of get excited. Oh, and I got Splatoon 3 last week, and me and my daughter have been going back and forth playing Splatoon 3. It's only single player, or one person. And that game's, oh my God. The multiplayer of Splatoon 3 is insane, and it is without, like, Mario Kart is ageless and timeless, but Splatoon 3 is so good. It's so good. Epic, what's up? It's been a long time, I feel. Do you think the statue is Merlin or Slytherin in the haunted shop? I thought it was At the time, I thought it was Slytherin, but of course you can't trust these eyes because I get confused or I get mixed up very easily. So, I don't know. I don't know if they would go so far to do that, but it could be something Slytherin related. Or I mean, but both of them make so much sense with, it seems like, what they're doing. Daredevil is definitely, yeah, Daredevil, I thought Daredevil was confirmed to at least be in like a full episode. I think he'll probably be in the next one, right? Yes, you have to pre-order it to get the code. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I've been off the Call of Duty wagon for so long. You know, I switched to Battlefield, and then after what they did with the last one, I mean, first-person shooters are easily one of my lower end. Like, there's fighting games that aren't Mortal Kombat, like NetherRealm games. There's racing games, like hardcore Gran Turismo type. Those are two that I can never get into. So I mean, like Soul Calibur, Tekken, and stuff. Tekken is a Tekken that was shown that's in Unreal Engine 5, looked unbelievably good. But I don't play them. But then after that would probably be first-person shooters like COD and stuff like that. So yeah. Do you think if we go down the dark path, do our companions join us or do they try and stop us? I don't think so. I think the companions, the tough thing is the way they talk about it. I don't think the companions will basically, like, in their coding, they may not even know you're going good or bad. So, you know what I mean? I don't think it's going to necessarily, but at the same time, like Mass Effect is like you can be really good or really bad. They'll throw comments your way if you're really bad, but they still follow you. The story is still the same. They still go with you the same way. Yet again, if you do certain things, specifically as you go through the Mass Effect games like Mass Effect 3, if you choose certain options that you kind of perceive, like if you just do a full-on bad playthrough of Mass Effect, you, like, I don't want to spoil it, but like Tali probably doesn't make it. Like certain characters don't make it, specifically if you play bad. I don't think Hogwarts would do that. You know, I don't think Hogwarts is going to connect them that tight. Have you played Immortals? No. That is on my list, though, of backlog games and being on Game Pass now or is it already on? I know it's coming. I don't know if it's on currently. But with it being on Game Pass, I'm going to definitely play Immortals. I skipped it. When Immortals Phoenix Rising was announced and when it was shown, it was always looked at as like this could be sneakily or whatever you want to say. This could be very sneaky in a good way. Like it could be a really solid game and people aren't really paying attention to it. And I thought the same thing. I was like, no, this actually looks pretty good. It's just going to get overshadowed. And that's pretty much I mean, it sold actually really well, but it basically did for me. I just like let it go. I didn't buy it day one like I probably would now. Like if the second one comes out or when the second one would come out, I'd imagine I would actually get it. Star Wars Legends was way better than the Filoni verse, which is small. Yeah, I like Filoni to an extent, but at the same time, I don't know. I really don't know anymore with a lot of the Star Wars stuff. I think I've watched the God of War trailer like 30 times. Yeah, I mean, nothing wrong with that. I don't think I'll get there because I'm only at 3, and we got less than 2 months, and I probably am not going to. But I have like looked up theories. I did, like when I watched it today, I tried to pause it a little bit more because there's definitely, I feel like there's things in that trailer, specifically when he has Mimir and when he doesn't, and also when he has the blades and when he doesn't, that could indicate where we are in the story, which is why I say that Thor fight at the very end of the trailer on the lake, that could be immediately at the start of the game. But I also wonder how they're going to start Ragnarok start God of War Ragnarok because, like, obviously he looks pretty aggressive or confrontational at the end of 2018, right? When, like, there's the lightning and he has, like, the hammer. But he could be there just to talk. Like, he doesn't have to immediately fight you. But I imagine he may anyway. I don't know. Maybe you guys could let me know what you think. I want to do a video on that because I do think you'll fight Thor very early, but I wonder if they would just start the game right there. So we'll have to see. I have Valkyrie, Elysium, and God of War Ragnarok. Nice. Oh, so, yeah. I was I remembered Valkyrie Elysium. I remember seeing it. I watched the trailer again maybe like 2 days ago. And then I saw like the demo and stuff is out. And then I was like, oh man, when does this game come out? And it's like, it comes out in like 2 weeks. And so I don't think I'll be getting it, but it's always looked pretty solid to me. And yeah, so let me know, Jeff, if it's good when it comes out, because I could be swayed. There's also nothing to play. I guess I'm gonna play Kena Bridge of Spirits again because of the 1 year anniversary. So that's probably next up for after, like, in between God of War and stuff, I'll probably do that. King J, what's up, buddy? I find it funny that Deathloop going into both Game Pass and PS Plus on the same day. Practically, I don't care. Yeah. I didn't care for Deathloop when I bought it. I bought Deathloop day one, and I saw all the 10s out of 10s and stuff, and I was, like, my history with them is I've never really been into their style of games. Dishonored, I'm not as, like, a fan. I would say I'm not a fan of. Like, I actually, instead of, like, being impartial to it, I've actually played it. I just don't really think I like it. And then Prey is good. Prey is definitely a good game, but I wouldn't say I'm, like, super into those kind of games. And Deathloop was just totally average. Like, it was definitely cool, and, like, when somebody invades your world and they're hunting you, like, that's terrifying to me. And I like the idea of, like, you have to plan everything and you can't go backwards or whatever. Like, I like it all, but I don't, like Game of the Year and, like, perfect scores and all this stuff. I think Deathloop is highly overrated. Not because it's a bad game, but because it's not like a perfectly amazing game. It's good. But now it's coming out on Game Pass, and then, yeah, it's also coming out on PlayStation Plus, so everybody should try it, I feel like, if you have time. I started playing Uncharted 4, and I just can't stop playing. I mean, it's about time. There you go. No, I'm glad. I'm glad you're playing it. It's my favorite game of all time. It really is. It's so special. Again, I think to the trailers for Uncharted 4 when I think to my favorite trailers of all time, is there was just that sense of, like, this is it. This is the last time you're going to be doing this with Nate and the gang, and that helps the trailers. I think that kind of feel. One Onimusha and Prince of Persia remake. I mean, hopefully Prince of Persia remake is not dead. I did start to play Days Gone recently during the week. Nice. Days Gone grows on you too. Days Gone never really evolves into being, like, the best game ever, but it evolves into being like, yeah, this is pretty fun, or, like, it's kind of refreshing having a game play like this. I like Days Gone. Arcane Studios is my number one. Not bad. Any game recommendations for PS Premium or Game Pass, and how are you? I'm doing good. How about you? Well, recommendations, yeah. Metal Hellsinger, if you guys haven't played it. I reviewed it. I did the review on my channel a few days ago. I got to play it early. I like it. And for being on Game Pass, it's absolutely worth it. I mentioned earlier, like, Ni no Kuni 1 and 2 being on Game Pass, I think is awesome. So if you haven't gotten that, definitely get it. Deathloop, I think, is worth it. For PlayStation, I don't know what, like, the newer ones are. Again, I'm using kind of it to play a lot of the Assassin's Creed games. But I download, like, any PS Plus thing that comes out, or I add it to my library just so I have it. But there's some cool, like, there's a lot of good games with PS Plus, like PS3 era games, PS4, or not really all that many PS5, but yeah. What's going on, Alex? Oh, nothing much. Doing a Friday thing. How about you? Uncharted 4 is the best game ever. Yeah, I mean, it's my favorite. I would say Deathloop high 7, low 8. Yeah, that's where I would put it there too. I'm expecting a Kingdom Hearts 4 and 7 Remake Part 2 trailer next year. Well, if they follow through with... So they said, I believe they said, that the Crisis Core remaster was winter, and then 7 Part 2 or Rebirth, right, is next winter. So when I hear winter, because of Kingdom Hearts, I think January or February. But Crisis Core comes out in December 13th, I think. So it's not impossible that next year you could have Final Fantasy 16 in the summer, and then December is 7 Part 2, which would, I think, be, for Sony or for PlayStation, would be insane, and then also just from Final Fantasy, like, that would be incredible too. So I would not be shocked. Kingdom Hearts obviously wouldn't come out next year, but yeah, I imagine we see a trailer because I think Kingdom Hearts 4, I think Kingdom Hearts could come out. It's actually kind of weird saying Kingdom Hearts 4 out loud. That's why I had to stop myself. So I was like, is it really the fourth one? I think Kingdom Hearts 4 probably comes out very late 2024, if not early 2025. Do you think the Indiana Jones game can come close to as good as Uncharted? There's always a piece of me that thinks that no game can ever touch Uncharted. But considering Uncharted is inspired by Indiana Jones, yeah. If Indiana Jones is like not even in the same realm as Uncharted, like below it, I'd be severely disappointed. You know what I mean? So I hope Indiana Jones is great. But there's also like, again, there's like a selfishness where it's like, well, I don't want Indiana Jones to be better than Uncharted. But at the same time, you know what? It's the gaming industry and I want good games. So if we walked out of Indiana Jones saying that's better than all the Uncharteds, I mean, that'd be incredible. I don't think it can do it because you don't have you do have Indy, but like the characters, like you don't have that build up all the way to Uncharted 4. So I don't think Indiana Jones can be better than it just with one game. Similarly to like is the Spider-Man franchise better than Arkham? I don't know if you can really say that with one, I guess, Miles, but you know what I mean? Like, because Arkham had so many more. I don't know if it's fair. This game is the best God of War. I can't believe it's so cool. Which one? God of War 3? Moon Scars. Do you think we'll be able to see wandless magic and fly without a broomstick? There's no way you'll be able to fly without a broomstick. No way. And then wandless magic would be cool for like an end game thing, but I'll also say no. DLC where we can play as Prime Merlin. That'd be sweet. That'd be a very different kind of game. What do I think about Gotham Knights? I'm excited for it. It's actually kind of insane that Gotham Knights comes out in a month and 5 days. Like, it's nuts because we've been like doing this for so long. So it's going to kind of feel weird to have the game out, but I'm excited for it. Moon Scars releasing September 27th on Game Pass. Oh. I haven't even heard of that game, so that's probably an issue. What do you expect to see from God of War Ragnarok? Just really good game. The gameplay's tight. The story's hopefully good. There's obviously you don't have to kill like certain characters. I think Thor will die, but I don't think Odin necessarily has to, although he probably will anyway. So yeah, we'll have to see what they do. But I don't even know where my expectations are. I just want like a really good game, and I don't really know what that means, but I want a really good game. So yeah. I'm big excited to check out Crisis Core. Yeah, Crisis Core looks... I'm getting that. That looks incredible. What's up, Alex? I'm getting a console for the first time. I'm a PC guy. Oh, my God. Where should I set my expectations quality-wise for console games? If you play PC on, like, the highest, like, maxed-out stuff, yeah, there's a drop. But I really think consoles are pretty powerful. Also, for the price. Like, a Series X or a PS5 for... you pay like $3,000-$4,000 for a PC, and you spend $500 or $400, and to get a pretty strong equivalent, not all the way, but you get something pretty close, and you paid like a sixth of the price. I think that's pretty. You know what I mean? Like I think that's pretty good. I would set it high for like the first party games. I wouldn't set it high across the board. There are some games that obviously are still lagging a little bit behind, like Saints Row. Looks like it came out in 2008. Legitimately, it does. Whereas other games, Uncharted 4, if you told me Uncharted 4 came out this year, I'd still believe you because it still looks pretty good. All things considered. Or The Last was Part 2. Is all God of War lore from the games? I have not played any of them. Is all God of War lore from the games? Well, they use like the mythologies, but they have their own stories. So, yeah, I'd watch like some sort of like explained video, like God of War recap or something. If you want to catch up for Ragnarok or something, I would do that. Because they use the lore, but they don't do all of it, and they make their own story. What is your wand wood, and what is your Patronus? I think is Elder? I don't want to sound stupid. The Elder Wand, whatever that's made from, I think that's my core, or that's the wood. Although I haven't taken a test, I still haven't done the thing, the fan club link up. And then Patronus, I did take one, and I thought it was a Phoenix, but I could be wrong. But again, I haven't taken the official one, so I'll have to do that. I will do it soon. I'll make a video on it. Gotham Knights and Black Adam both drop the same day. Oh, yeah, that is nuts. I mean, Black Adam, though, I'll see the night before. Oh, but then also Gotham Knights would come out that night, wouldn't it? Oh, man. I really, well, I want, of course, I would like Gotham Knights early. I'm not going to expect it early, but I would like it. And we'll see what happens. But it could be an insane day. Thor will be killed. Yeah. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be nuts. But I do think we'll fight Thor probably twice, to be honest with you. I think God of War 2 has the best gameplay of the franchise. A lot of people, when I made my God of War 3 retrospective, a lot of them said God of War 2 is the best one. I don't agree. In fact, I think God of War 2 is one of the weaker ones. But that's just me. I like the story, and the visuals at the time were insane. But I don't know. I don't think I can wrap my head. I can respect it for sure. I respect that opinion. But out of specifically the older age of God of War 3 has always been my go-to. And if you throw in 2018, it's either God of War 3 or 2018. I've never once considered God of War 2 for the best. And I've played all of them. I've never considered God of War 2 for it. I actually really like Ascension too, which is a little known fact. Favorite common room? Hufflepuffs looked the coolest. I like the Slytherin under the lake thing. I don't think I knew that because I don't really know my lore as well as others. So seeing like the water from the glass, that speaks to me because I love water. So yeah. Not true at all. It's more like 800 to 1,000 to match console performance on PC these days with GPU price drops. Well, but I mean, like, yeah, I'm sure, yeah, that's true. I don't think you have to spend like $3,000-$4,000 to obtain like a good PC. You could spend a lot less. I'm saying like if you have like a $3,000-$4,000 and you have like the Ultra, but also a lot of games aren't there yet. You know what I mean? Like a lot of games aren't up to. There's still, when they do the graphics breakdown for a lot of like PC games, the like super powered like overcharged settings are the newer specs for PC. You know what I mean? You can have a PC with components from like 3-4 years ago, and that could still be like the higher end that some of these games recommend. You know what I mean? So it depends on what games you play. It depends on like how high performance you expect things. But I think the consoles are worth it. I'm a console gamer. I mean, I'm a console gamer at heart. I always will be. I always have been. Harry, what's going on, buddy? I'm doing well. How about you? My problem with the Norse mythology is the lack of bosses, gods, weapons. Yeah. There's definitely a lack of, not necessarily, well, maybe enemies. There is definitely a lack of, like head-on villains. But we also spent a lot of time in Greek mythology that we haven't spent, and for whatever reason, they don't want to spend, in Norse mythology. They want to get out. So, yeah. If Kratos dies, I would be heartbroken, but I would love to play as Atreus as he takes the name Loki. Yeah, so I want to do videos on it over the next like month or two. I'm kind of waiting just another couple weeks to do it. I mean, they could do a Miles Morales thing, right? Where it's like you could still play the main games as Kratos, but there's like spin-off games that are still very high quality that you could play as Atreus. And I think that I'd like to see that, but I don't know. I don't ever want to say, at least not now, so maybe I shouldn't say ever. I don't want to say goodbye to Kratos. So killing him off like for good and handing it off to Atreus for the next God of War game, to which, what do you call it, by the way? Man, that would be a tough pill to swallow. It'd be a really, especially in this modern age of Joel and saying goodbye to Nate and basically a lot of PlayStation icons piecing out. I don't know how I would feel. I'd have to see it, obviously. And I don't know if I want to see it. So, yeah. Can't wait for Gotham Knights comes around my birthday. Nice. Elderwood with Thestral Haircore. Yeah. Elderwood. Yeah. That's the one. No, that is the one. I know I've taken them before. I don't know where I've taken them at. and I haven't taken them at that fan one that you link with Hogwarts. I don't have an account for that, so I have to wherever I took it. I don't know. I don't know where I took them, but I know it was a Phoenix for the Patronus for sure, and I know I've been sorted in Gryffindor for sure. But I'll have to take their test basically. Arthur, what's up? Hi Alex, what game are you most psyched for? God of War Ragnarok or Hogwarts? All right, well, it's still Hogwarts. Man, it's still Hogwarts, but the way my brain works is like I get excited for games the closer they are. So the week before Plague Tale Requiem, that's my most anticipated. Or a couple days before Gotham Knights, that's my most, you know what I mean? So that's how I kind of work. Long term, it probably is still Hogwarts, but God of War is definitely like right there, specifically because it's fresh in my mind. Does that make sense? But like I said, like leading into October, A Plague Tale Requiem is my most anticipated because it's like it's gonna be, you know, it's a few weeks away. Actually, at this point, it's a month and 2 days away. You know what I mean? So I really want that game, really badly. Really, really. If you guys don't know about A Plague Tale Requiem, by the way, I was gonna do a video on it today, and I didn't do it, but maybe I'll do it next week. But man, oh man, it's shocking that a game of that quality is going to end up on Game Pass. If you can buy it full price, but you could also get it on Game Pass. And please don't sleep on that game. There's a lot of games in mid to late October. A Plague Tale Requiem is so worth anybody's time. I mean, it's not out yet, but it's also free if you have it on game, so there's really no harm. But if it's even close to Innocence and it looks like it's going to be miles better, I don't know how you do anything better than I don't know how you ask for more, basically. So that was a long answer too. Those are two tough. I mean, that's what I get asked actually quite a bit. I get asked Gotham Knights versus Hogwarts. That's a lot easier. Hogwarts, I think, is just much better looking than Gotham. Even I'm excited for Gotham Knights a lot, but like it's not really close. God of War versus Hogwarts is. I'll tell you another one is the Wonder Woman game. Although we haven't seen it, the Wonder Woman game is very high. BioShock would be very high. If like Sly Cooper was confirmed tomorrow, to be honest with you, I think Sly Cooper would overtake Hogwarts. I think I would do it. If Sly was announced, Sly Cooper 5, or just a reboot or whatever, that would be my most anticipated game over anything else that I've just said. That's how much I care for Sly. Or Uncharted. If a new Uncharted game was announced, that's number one. There's no question. So that's how that's how it operates. I think Thor is going to be a jobber. It looks like he can barely move. Yeah, he's a little. But, I mean, if he gets on top of you and he starts pummeling you, then that's going to be tough. I finally will rewatch the Batman movie. Oh, Batman. Oh, yeah. Nice. I just rewatched it maybe a month ago, maybe less. Super good. I'm super pumped for Gotham Knights, and I think Batman is not dead. Oh, I'm in agreement. I don't think he's dead either. Yeah, for me, I've been looking at a new PC. My budget is around $2K probably. Even that should be able to run 9. Yeah. I went all the way. I mean, my PC, I think, was $3,000. And I went pretty hard, and that was last October. So a year next month. I got mine. Very powerful. I was going to use it basically to do Xbox games, but then my wife was on the hunt, and she did a really amazing job going for the Series X, and she got it back last October when it was very difficult. She put in the work the whole month, and we got it. And we got it pretty soon after my PC. So, like, my PC was supposed to be the Xbox device, and then we got a Series X. And like I said, I'm a console player, so I'll always pick them over, or even like when I get review codes and stuff, if they ask what system, I always pick console. I don't pick PC. If it's a game exclusive to PC, like Warhammer Darktide, when that comes out in a few months and it's on PC first and then Xbox later, then I have a reason to play my PC. But there are some like Steam games or indie games that are only PC that I've done, and that's worth it. Have you played Little Nightmares? I have. I love both of them. They're such good games. Little Nightmares 2 is awesome. I covered, I don't know if you wouldn't know probably, but last year when Little Nightmares 2 came out, I covered it quite a bit. I probably made like 8-9 videos on Little Nightmares 2 and then theories for 3. I cover that game a lot, so that game means a lot to me. Also, no jump button and gore nerfed. Oh God, what are we talking about? I don't know. I don't know what we were talking about, unless you're talking about God of War. Norse mythology is too small. It's very focused. I don't know what we're supposed to be talking about here. Anything you want. I had to leave for a bit, but I want a Sims 5. Yeah, Sims 5 was a big thing. Happened this week. Obviously, we got Jeff Grubb, right, that said that Sims 5 is happening. Well, not just that it's happening, but it's going to be announced next month. I'm excited for it. Sims 2 will always be one of my favorite games. It's one that I don't think they tracked it back then, but I easily put probably like if you look at like my top games of how many hours I put into it, Sims 2 is probably like top 3. I put in an enormous amount of time in my life into Sims 2, so that'll always be my favorite Sims. And then 3 was good, but I didn't like it as much. Sims 2 to me is always the best one. And then 4, I mean, my dear God, what did they do to 4? So with 5, I really hope they just turn around, which it's EA, so it's asking a lot. But also I am getting very sick of, which is how it's always been, stripping the game down, releasing it, and then giving you the 30 expansion packs over the next like 5 years. That's a pretty scummy business practice because we know that you could put it into the game. It's not that difficult to put it in. You don't need to charge $40 extra for each. You could still support the game, and you could still make money too, just by doing it less. So I'll never not love Sims, so I'll always give them chances, but they've lost, I think, a lot of people. Sims 4 made a lot of people mad, and I know like the Sims 4 like community online, like a lot of them despise them for what they did to them. So yeah, you can call it God of Mischief. That's true. When I said out loud, when I said like what would you call it, I thought, well, you could still call it God of, and then you just swap because of the war being Kratos' lineage kind of stuff. You could just swap it with Atreus. Could work. It could work, but again, do we want to do that? Are we ready to say goodbye to Kratos? I guess some people are. I'm not, but same goes for Master Chief. Well, Halo, I think, has gone on a little too long. I think Halo should have ended a while ago. But I'll always love Master Chief. Not the show, though. No, sir. Kratos don't die. It will be his son. Oh, man. You think Atreus would die? I am not sold on Kratos dying. So I would not say I believe Kratos will die. But we'll see. I want a Harry Potter game where I can play as Dumbledore, Voldemort, and Grindelwald. Oh, man. That'd be sweet. I've always wanted to play a game as Dumbledore. I don't know how you do it. Well, you could just do it, I guess. You just play as him. Kind of forgot that the Dialfield Chronicles comes out in 8 days. I don't know what that is either. There are some games that I lack up here in the old noggin. Gotham Knights around the corner. It is indeed. It is. It's pretty incredible. I made a video that'll go up this weekend talking about Gotham Knights. I'm about to kick it into another gear with the Gotham Knights talk and coverage. So that should be a lot of fun over the next month. And then it's going to be bittersweet because really, the channel grew off of Pirates of the Caribbean. The channel grew off of Avengers Infinity War. It grew off of Star Wars The Last Jedi. It actually grew a lot on movies early on. And then it grew off of gaming. Kingdom Hearts. But I really feel like when I started talking about the Batman stuff, that's when just a lot of people latched on, and those videos did really well, and I was one of like the go-to people for like keeping up with like the Arkham Legacy stuff, and we just kept it going consistently. I don't know. I made a video after I got hernia surgery where I could barely talk. I don't know if my wife remembers that. I literally had to talk like that. You could probably find it. I have to go back and look. But yeah, so it's always special. I mean, it's special. It's special to me. It's special to me, I guess, in a different way than to other people because of like the channel and stuff. But, I have a lot to thank them for, I suppose. And not even any necessary, like I don't have any specific person to thank, like creator of like the Arkham games or anything. But like, you know what I mean? It's going to be weird when the game's out. It's going to be weird. But then you'll have Suicide Squad, or I'll have Suicide Squad. And then they're making the second game. Warner Bros. Montreal. So we're not done. We never end. But it is going to be kind of bittersweet. And it's going to be incredibly bittersweet when Hogwarts comes out. That may be like a tear shed moment just because of how long, which was around the same time. I actually did the Arkham stuff before Hogwarts. I did Batman stuff first. Then I did Hogwarts. And so those two have been pillars of my channel for 4 years now. 4 years for Gotham, or for Batman, and then a little less than 4 years, 3.5, no less, close to 4 for Hogwarts. So it's going to be nuts when that game comes out. And I hope we get more Wizarding World games because I don't really want to say goodbye. I don't want to say goodbye to this stuff. And I don't think I'll have to. After God of War Ragnarok comes out, what's the next big title you're looking? So big, like really big? Yeah, it would be Callisto, Midnight Suns, and then Crisis Core. For big games. Evil West, though, I'm super excited for Evil West. There could be 1 or 2 smaller things at the end of November as well that I'm not thinking of. But, yeah, like I said, I'm into more than just, like, right now, 2022, my most anticipated game in 2022 is God of War. But my number 2 game is A Plague Tale, Requiem. It's not Callisto. It's not Gotham Knights. It's not my second anticipated. So I think I have diversity there. Callisto, Midnight Suns, I'm into Crisis Core, Plague Tale, Scorn. I'm excited for Scorn. So games like that. Skull and Bones. I am excited. I am excited. I'm not going to say I'm not excited for Skull and Bones because I am. Have you seen The Chant? Yes, I have seen The Chant, and I will play it. I'm going to try to contact them, actually. But I have seen it, and it looks good. And the one girl, one of the leads, is one of the leads of The Quarry. So it's a similar kind of game. So doesn't the Wonder Woman game come out next year? No, they didn't say a year. I don't think it comes out next year. I think it probably comes out, if anything, 2024. 2024, 2025 is a year that can have a lot of games because every game's just been pushed there. Oh, you know what game is also supposed to come out next year, though, potentially? Is Dragon Age. Dragon Age Dreadwolf. That's nuts. Which means then Mass Effect, maybe 2 years after that. I mean, in the next 5 years, it sounds really dumb when you say it like that, right? In the next 5 years, we're going to have some incredible games. But we are. There's some big games that have already come out. 2020 was the last year of, like, gigantic, I think, when you had, like, the impact of Ghost of Tsushima and The Last of Us, whether you liked it or not. The impact of The Last of Us Part 2 and Animal Crossing and Doom Eternal and Final Fantasy VII Remake. I mean, 2020 was nuts. And last year just didn't have it at all. And then this year, Elden Ring definitely took the world by storm. But this year's been, God of War Ragnarok is really that other game, to be honest with you. So, and the other big games, like, of that magnitude, later. Starfield can be something very special. So there's that. So, yeah. It's awesome your wife plays games with you. I can't find good games for my wife to get in besides Life is Strange. Well, Life is Strange is a good one. My wife, my wife actually, Christy, does not like Life is Strange. Play the games from Joseph Fares, which is It Takes Two and A Way Out. Those two are phenomenal. I mean, maybe you've already played them. It Takes Two, A Way Out. I like Overcooked. Overcooked, I think, it's hard to play Overcooked with 2 people, so you may need more than just you and your wife. But there's some really good couch. Destroy All Humans 2 is couch co-op, I believe. The new one, the remake. So there's definitely some good ones. But yeah. And she'll, like, watch. Like, she loves God of War. She really loves Dragon Age, Assassin's Creed. Like, there's some franchises she really likes. But I oftentimes am a controller hog. But when there's, like, co-op games like It Takes Two, which is just one of the best games ever, which was an incredible game last year, by the way, that game is worth playing it. Riley, thanks, buddy, for the super chat. Have you played Darksiders? I have. I played Darksiders back in the day when it first came out, and obviously people looked at it as like a rip-off God of War, and it kind of is, but I actually really like the era of games trying to do God of War. There are actually a lot of really good games in that group. Darksiders 1, I think, is a really good game overall, and I also think Dante's Inferno is an incredible game that gets overlooked that also was maybe the most blatant rip-off, like copy of God of War, but was also really good. Dante's Inferno is a really good game. It just came out at the wrong time, and I really don't think it did well. The reviews were like it's a 7 or 8 out of 10 game. Like, it was a fine game, but it feels like God of War. It is God of War, and it is, but it's still really good. And I think you realize that more the longer from that point. You know what I mean? Are you a fan of Resident Evil? I am. I covered Village a lot when it came out, and I'll be covering the Rose DLC. But I made a lot of videos. We grew quite. I had some good videos, big viewed videos on Village and Ethan towards the end of it, and like the Easter egg, maybe not Easter egg at the end of Village. So I like those games a lot. Why do you think we are starting Hogwarts late? I think our parents might be trying to keep us safe, but I think we could have killed our parents. I think we may like on accidentally kill our parents. That will be my prediction. I think it'd be different if they're trying to keep us safe. That's almost like a Hermione thing, right? Because Hermione, her parents kind of did that, right? But obviously Harry didn't have any, so it's not funny. It's actually a little sad. But no, I mean, they gave their life for a good cause, and they ultimately helped him defeat Voldemort. No, but I think it'd be different if the parents were actually alive. But as has been pointed out before, it makes most sense for the parents to probably not be around for a lot of single-player kind of games like that. True. I hope they bring back the blade of... Oh, yeah, the blade of the sword. That'd be freaking sweet. Are you streaming Gotham Knights on the Tuesday or the Friday? I don't know yet the plan that close for Gotham Knights, but when I know, I will definitely let you. I'll have kind of like a prep stream for Gotham Knights, like maybe a week before, where we'll talk about I have a video coming out this weekend where I loosely talk about my plans for Gotham Knights, but probably a week before the game comes out, whether I have the code or don't, like for review, I'll probably do a live stream and we'll talk about like what's the plan, what can you expect to see, spoilers, like stuff like that, and we'll do that. Alex, I think everyone is wondering when we'll get the highly anticipated sequel to Fast and Furious Crossroads. Well, what you probably don't know about me, though, maybe you do, is I love Fast and Furious, the franchise, the movies. It's one of my favorite franchises. So it's a funny joke, and those games suck, and they're so bad. But I love the movies. Do you like Devil May Cry? I do. I never really got too far with the newest one, but I like it in general. Imagine that second Warner Bros. Montreal game is a Teen Titans game. That's my number one want from it, is to be Teen Titans. Wish you a good day, night. I go off. Thanks for the stream. Well, thank you for being here, Sir Axis. I appreciate it, as always. We'll go just a little bit longer, and then we'll head off. So any last comments? But these are always fun. I love to do these. I think the Midnight Suns game looks too childish, watered down, and generic for a game. Yeah, it is definitely a little... Like, it's not dark, or it's not, like, super extreme or violent or serious necessarily. I think it's going to be a good game. I truly think it's going to be a good game. Last of Us 2 was an abomination. I didn't like the story choices. How powerful do you think we'll become in Hogwarts Legacy? Quite powerful. Probably, like, the most powerful person in Hogwarts by the end of the year. So... what do you think about Ghost of Tsushima 2 coming? I see a lot of people talking about it. Well, now we have all of these, we have all these samurai games, right? With the Ronin one, like we have all, and then the Assassin's Creed. So within the next 3 to 4 years, I imagine we have Ghost 2, the Ronin one from Team Ninja, and then the Japanese Assassin's Creed one. So yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. And there may almost be like samurai overkill. But I think, honestly, all three of them can be not only different enough from each other, but also extremely good. So I'm excited for it. But to your specific question, what do you think about Ghost of Tsushima 2? It definitely is coming. I don't know. I doubt it's coming for another 2 years at least, I'd imagine. 2 years at least. But it will come out. If the Blade game leak is true, how would you like to play it? Like a sped up, like if Wolverine is like Spider-Man, but with like claws, like a mixture of Arkham-like type I'd probably say for it. Or like how the Deadpool, like a more hack and slash, even if you combine God of War or like the Deadpool games with it, that'd kind of be cool. I think that'd be fun. Spell are you most hoping for in Hogwarts? Well, I already got them. The Unforgivable. So those 3. Avada Kedavra. Who are you gonna but honestly that's or anything that has anything to do with water, which we do know there are water spells, or I've been told, and I want to control water using spells. Who are you gonna play as in Gotham Knights? Batgirl first. Gwyn, Lord of Cinder. Do you think we'll be able to cast a spell as powerful as Protego? I don't know what that is. Is that like a really, really bad one? I think the one where like and which is a new one, when you shoot the lightning, like your mysterious the ancient magic that's inside of you that obviously allows you to do some like pretty high tech or high skill spells in the game. That's the most powerful thing in the game, I think. Avada Kedavra is obviously like insane, but I think like that one where he shoots up and then the lightning bolt like literally evaporates the person, that is the most I think that'll be the most powerful spell in the entire game. Or maybe something but tied to the ancient magic thing. Maybe how the game opens. We'll see. Yeah, if the Wolverine game isn't R-rated, that would be kind of an issue. All right, guys. Well, I think I did, smaller group, but I was able to keep up with all the comments. So actually, it was a pretty good trade-off. I actually like that. Hi, mate. I'm deep into the Hogwarts Legacy community, and you were the first creator I started watching from the reveal trailer, so I appreciate that. Thank you. As others have come out and done really well, the only thing I really have to my name anymore is I did it first. Like I was the first of this group by a lot to talk about Hogwarts Legacy. But that's all I got to my name at this point, because they're real. I mean, Retro Raconteur and Ben and James from Expecto Go and Andy from Andy Reload. I mean, these are like insanely good people and very talented. The only thing I can compete with them is saying I started it. I made videos first before all of you. That's it. But I will hold on to that. I do think that's kind of special and I've done that with more than one thing. You know what I mean? Where I've been maybe I'm not necessarily the first for other things, but I stick with it where other people kind of come in and then leave. Like, I wasn't the first to get into the Gotham Knights or like Arkham world. There was Slick Moth and others. But I stuck, like once I got in, I stuck with it. Sly Cooper, I stuck with it. Scream, I was kind of early on, actually. Scream, I stuck with it. So, yeah. Yeah. What if we can get the Elder Wand? Depends on where it is at the time of the game. That's a legit thing to have your name. Milk it. I will. I will milk it. Rank the Scream franchise. I thought I did. I will do it again. I'll rank the Scream franchise again once we get maybe I'll wait till 6, because I'm almost positive I ranked all the movies including 5. So I'll wait till Scream 6 or Scream 2, and then I'll rank all 6 of them again. I'll definitely do that. All right, guys. I appreciate you being here. Appreciate you guys, talking to me and allowing me to ramble for an hour. Thank you so much for being here. Got some cool things planned. Next week we're gonna do something a little bit different. You'll see what I'm talking about when you watch the weekend videos. Watch my weekend videos, specifically the Gotham Knights one, and we'll go from there. So expect a live stream next Friday, but maybe expect a little bit more as well that we'll talk about in that video, okay? Thank you guys for being here. Make sure you're following me on Twitter, second channel, Podcast Now Plus. Links are all in the description. And yeah, got videos over the weekend and then live streams, maybe, plural, next week as well. Thank you guys for being here, and enjoy the weekend. Talk soon, guys.